I'm literally in an area where the SOS on my phone has gone on. So I figured, why not just record some. I got a little hair. It's poking me in the... I got it. So I'm literally at a place in Connecticut that is so desolate, more farmland, and I have my SOS on my phone. So I figured now is a good time to just be with my thoughts, and I can say them out loud, and I could always come back and, you know, pull from this, but I could just talk about what's alive for me. So really, it's like, well, creation energy, right? We all come from a womb, from our mothers. I even like that they say every wound is a womb, and that speaks to really any of that hurt. Something can be born from that, and something often is born from that. And depending on the environment, a lot of things can be born in competing things, and even opposite things can be born in basically the same environment or starting point, but then depending on what's added. So I'm pretty much constantly going back to that creation energy, really. So with that creation energy, if you are familiar with some spiritual teachings, your creative energy comes from your sacral chakra, which is your second chakra up, the orange one. And funny enough, I'm wearing a bunch of orange today, even my pants, my shorts. So, because red is the root, that's the first. Orange is the second, it's sacral. That's your creative energy. It's also your sexual energy. And saying "and" could even be described as incorrect, because Buddha says the greatest illusion is the illusion of separation. The "and" is unnecessary because it's not separate from it. It is sexual energy. Creation energy is sexual energy. Sexual energy is creation energy. And you got to think, your sexual energy does create actual life. Both male and female, their sexual energy and the manifestation of their sexual energy in the respective genitals and reproductive parts, that is their creation energy. They create a whole new life, a whole new being, a replica, a fractal, a mini, a copy of what they are, plus this other being, and it makes a third thing. So the third thing, right? You have a circle. A circle is whole. You have another circle, that's whole. If you put them next to each other, that's good, because then you get a figure eight. But then if you overlap them, you now have this space in the middle that it looks like a portal, it looks like a yoni, it looks like an opening, it looks like a void. It's the overlap, it's the in-between, it's the third thing that's created between these two things. So that's known as, we know that as a Venn diagram, right? Two circles overlapped. That actually comes from a much older terminology called the Vesica Piscis. And again, now we're getting into continued creation energy, remembrance of the sacred. I'm seeing an angel on somebody's lawn. The sacred feminine energy, divine mother, that reason why we're all here. Now, when you're talking about that creation energy, going back to the sacral, going back to the chakras in the body, and everything. So your sexual energy is your creative energy. It's linked to it. It's intertwined, intermingled with it. This is why, if you think about people like rock stars, famous rock stars, they were sex, drugs, and rock and roll, and they were also some of the best artists of all time. Their creative energy, their life force energy, their sexual energy was flowing. It was going up and down, bing, 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 through all their chakras, out their hands, out their mouths, through vocals, their hands, their fingers, if they're a guitar player, whatever it is. These people are peaking in a flow state of eroticism. Now, this is our life force energy. We can use our sexual energy to create whatever we want. Now, what are you thinking about when you have an orgasm? Take a second. Think about it. What are you thinking about when you have an orgasm? Sometimes the answer is nothing. Sometimes the answer is the pleasure. Sometimes people who know that they can harness their sexual energy know that they're thinking about something. So what you're thinking about when you are orgasming is what you can and will and do call in more of. Now, so I'm putting this together also as we speak. When you are orgasming and you are thinking about how good it feels, clear audience happening. When you are orgasming and you're thinking about how good it feels, you are then going to be calling that in. So I know that's something I think about when I'm orgasming. It's like, this feels so fucking good. And I have one of my monikers that I've learned from one of very few actual amazing teachers and creatures that I've been connected with, my wife, is the mantra, the manifestation, the spell, and that is, yes, thank you, more, please. So, yes, thank you, more, please. When I'm having the orgasm, yes, thank you, more, please, to more of this pleasure, to this feeling in my body, to this type of situation that I'm currently in, and it's like calling in more of it. Now, I'm also going to continue to call in other things with these orgasms and this sexual energy. And it's like, okay, not only just the manifestation, because think about it. Manifestation is intention, but it's also action. It's intention plus action. There are so many people who really believe manifestation is strictly just thinking a thing. You can't just think it. You have to think it. You have to be it. You have to do it. You have to be in line and in resonance and in coherence with what you're thinking. So if you're thinking that you are wealthy and healthy with your wealth, or whatever type of wealth you think, financially, whatever, but then in reality you act like you're unhealthy or unwealthy, you're now sending conflicting messages to the universe and to yourself and to God and to everybody and to the people around you, to all the people that you're connected to. So it has to be, manifestation is both intention plus the action. So now your life force is flowing, your sexual energy, your pleasure, which again, you're talking about energy moving physically and energetically throughout your body. Now, so that sacral chakra energy, it's going up and down. That we don't even have tools as of right now to be able to measure that. What we can measure are some feelings and some endorphins and some, right, oxytocin and serotonin, some of these chemicals that are released, hormones, right? And we could also measure what? Blood flow to the vagina, to all areas. That's why you get hot when you're having sex, even if you're not putting in that much work. And then when you stop, after you orgasm and you're still, body temperature comes back down. You start to get cold. You want to be, all right, I'm freaking cold right now. So it's physically and energetically moving throughout your body. Now, you take that energy, you had an orgasm, you feel great. What's the very next thing that you think or do, both? Because remember, manifestation is intention plus action. The following steps, it's almost like a reset. And this is the same thing with plant medicine and basically all altered states of consciousness. So there's a reset. Now there's a reprogramming, because it's kind of wiped clean a little bit. Especially, think about it. If your answer was, when I'm having an orgasm, I'm not thinking about anything. Boom. Wiping the slate clean. We're doing a reset. Now, what are you thinking of as soon as you come back from that? What's the first thing you're thinking of? And then the pattern of what's the things you keep thinking about, and then the pattern of what's the first thing you do, and what are the things that you keep doing after you come back from an orgasm. And because this is an altered state of consciousness, when I'm saying come back, people are literally in a different consciousness headspace when they're in pleasure and when they're having an orgasm than when normal life or other portions of their life. So I'm going to wrap it up here because, first of all, a large majority of people are not even going to understand what the fuck I'm talking about, and another large majority, and they're going to be overlapping, Vesica Pisces, think that I am crazy, and that's fine. So let me know what you want to hear more of with all that. That was a quick 10 minutes, and I love it. I'm flowing, and I hope the same for you.